welcome back to our Black Swan Yoga podcast. Christine and
Patsy, what's up, everyone? Hope you're having a lovely day.
Yes, we sure do. Today we're diving back into the world of the chakras.
And today we have Third Eye, Ajna.
Get to it.
The space between your physical eyes.
Yes. And Ajna is all about tapping into your intuition.
Your inner wisdom, that inner guidance, and maybe even your ancestral voices that are giving you some guidance.
Creepy. Just kidding. But for real.
Creepy but cool.
Oh, yeah. So yes, this is, we're moving up into more of the ethereal world. We just talked about speaking our voice and our truth and communicating through our expression, honestly, and with power and trust in ourselves. And now we're kind of tapping into the space of discernment and following that inner voice.
Intuition for sure. And, we went from the element of the throat chakra being sound. So now we're into the element of the third eye being light, which I like to think of, as like we're really getting in tune with our own huge light. I suppose say our own little light, but really it's a big light inside of us. The namaste, the honoring of our lights and everyone else.
I love it so much. I think this is a tricky one because what we were saying before, it is very ethereal and it is, you can experience it. I think we've all had those moments where you're like, that's not a good choice, or like, I should totally do that. But it's also tricky to explain in the tangible and the accessible way. So we'll explore it and we'll share from our experiences and our walk with the Ajna world.
Yes, absolutely. And I love how you just said it's a little bit. It's a little bit more complicated to really like grasp because it is. Now we're talking about more of these feelings in this inner world rather than before. It was easier to see these patterns in our life,
more tangible.
But yes. So as I like to say before these type of discussions, put on your seatbelts. It might get a little silly, a little crazy. Might talk about cuckoo things, and that's all right.
Yes. So I think. I think I go always back to Mother Nature and the natural world and natural phenomena of, I think, the animal kingdom. I think nature itself has the intuition of just seasonally. If you think about like squirrels, gathering their little nuts, their acorns. They just have that within them of when to do it, when is the right time to do it.
Yeah.
Or like trees just have this an inner knowing of releasing their leaves.
Yes.
Same thing with plants and when they produce fruit and when they're not producing fruit.
And even when there's a storm coming, animals usually know before we how big of a storm it's going to be. They take shelter, way before we see the cloudy skies.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the vibrational, the earth sending them signals that we can't totally feel and they're more in tune with. But I still think that that's their own intuition as well.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. I think that the vibrational qualities sending forth from the universe, and it's the animal kingdom, Mother Nature being in tune. I think that's what intuition is like in tune, intuition. And I think because of again, going back to that fast-paced workhorse mentality, social media, the internet, it's just bombarding us with information of like, believe this, read this, trust this, let this be your filter. And so we're not actually taking time to be critical or critically think or reflect on what's going on in life.
Right. And how we feel.
Yeah.
Like I love how you said on our last podcast, I think it was, or maybe it was the heart one, that, when you're looking at Instagram, it's just like, because I do this too. I'm like, heart, like. And I'm like, what the fuck did I just look at? Like, like oh, a pretty quote with glitter in the background. It must be really deep.
Yeah.
And then I read it again and I'm like, I don't think I believe that.
Yeah.
I actually am going to reword this for myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. We
Mhm.
take things at like face value. And so I think it's like we're lacking the intuition.
Mhm.
And so then we end up making choices and then in hindsight, we're like, fuck, why did I do that?
Mhm.
But there's hope. It's not like you just like screwed yourself over and that it's gone. Your intuition's forever
Mhm.
in the cosmos. It lives within you.
Mhm.
And like you were saying, this light inside of us. And so I think it's about reconnecting to it, rebuilding it,
Yeah.
and tapping back into it,
Mhm.
which requires some slowing down.
Yes, absolutely. Stillness, meditation. And ajna in itself, that translates to mean to perceive and to command. So how we perceive, what the world around us is telling us, and then where we command our lives from there. Are we ignoring those signals, those messages from wherever? I like to think, as I said, that it's, we have our ancestral patterns of guilt and shame because we were told or our ancestors were told we couldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. And so it was passed on by genes, and, each decade, each story. And I think now we are being more awakened to our own intuition.
Yes, I do think that.
I think it's a really exciting time to be alive.
I agree. And I think there's more energy and force behind being empowered to tap into your intuition. I think we are waking up from a period in time of just the generations before us having just a very strict kind of way of living. And this is black and white, like this is right and this is wrong. You do this, you don't do this. You follow this path, you don't follow this path. This is the truth, that's not the truth. And it was very much written out for us or for those ahead of us. And now we're in this space and time where people are exploring more. And people are tapping more into yoga, into meditation, into the realm of even psychedelics. And these things of just wanting to open up a little bit more and not be so closed off and boxed in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Break the ego. There's a visualization that I heard recently that your whole life is like a movie projector, movie screen, but really, and we tend to think that what's being shown on the screen is like truth, is our life, and that's real. But really, the screen is the ego perceiving it. And then, like, you are all of it. You are actually, the projector and the witness, and like how you are like looking at the movie and perceiving it, that's part of you, how you witness it or judge it or tell the story again of what's going on. So I think, breaking that screen and realizing that ego sometimes won't totally tell us the truth is really important.
Yes. And so it's, okay, how do we know what is true? And it's, man, it's so hard when there's so many voices telling you, this is the way.
A really good exercise that a dear friend of mine told me about.
Oh. Was it me?
It was you.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Was if you have two situations going on and it's a difficult situation, maybe your intuition is just, usually you got to dig deep for your intuition with like, if it's a difficult decision, like meditation, stillness, or psychedelics, healing benefits of different modalities. But one thing that you said was to really visualize yourself in both situations. Like have yourself close your eyes and then put yourself in that circle, in that bubble of, okay, this is situation A. Take a moment, see how it feels. How does it feel for you to be there? Take that time to, okay, how's my heart space feel? How's my gut feel? And then where is my brain from there, And then from there. Maybe even journal afterwards if we got some time.
Okay.
But let's look at situation B. The second one, how does it feel to be in that other choice, in the other big decision that you want to make? And look at your body language. Look at where do you feel that, that gut feeling of oh shit, or yes, hallelujah, whatever it is. And I think, when you told me that was during a really important
time. Sorry, I was totally in it. I was
Christine is having her own life decisions made right now. A breakthrough.
It helps. It really does.
It does. Yeah. It really does.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're wonderful. I'm so glad you did it. It really is a great way to figure out what my intuition is saying, because you're digging into yourself, because your intuition, there's no one else on this planet that has your intuition except for you. So you're the only one with your own answers. That's going to tell you.
Yeah.
When you gave me that exercise, that was a huge turning point. I was in this, on this path of, I was going to move and leave my job here and, start a whole new life in a different city. And then, it was I'm meditating and I was about to sign the lease for this new career path. And every fiber in my body said no, no.
And you felt it.
Yes, it was huge. It was screaming at me at that point.
Yeah.
And you gotta listen to that.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
I was telling you that.
Yeah.
My college roommate, before we moved together from Tyler, Texas to San Marcos, Texas. And her mother, the day before we were moving, she grabbed me by the shoulders and she said, there is a reason why you have feelings. If you are feeling a certain way, listen to it. There is a reason why you have those feelings. And that was before I really dug deep into my meditation practice. And she wasn't not a practicing yogi by any means. And it just always stuck with me. That's powerful. And that is so true. That is our intuition that's guiding us.
Yeah. 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 I have some clairvoyance.
Oh, I love that. Clairvoyance. What a great word to choose.
Yeah. I think that is a part of it. It's just sometimes I think we do know. And then for me, I'll talk to my friends and what do you think? And then you already know. You already really know. And it's just when you have those difficult situations arise, it's just it's human. You're looking for affirmation.
Yeah.
You're looking for a different perspective. Those are all healthy things, especially if you're talking to individuals who are also very much engaged in their own intuition and they have your best interests in mind for them. Yes. And they see your life and they're want success and love and fortune and good vibes for you.
Yeah.
It's important to surround yourself with those individuals, but it's also very important to do the work yourself. We both live very busy lives. I'm today I was just literally, do I have 2 seconds to breathe? Yes, I have time to breathe. But do I have time to think? Yes, I have time to think.
I can do it on the podcast.
And if you're if super busy, I'm thinking about my own self and I don't have children. I can't even imagine how much busier life would be. But something that I've been exploring of recent is I have to commute to work. And sometimes I'm in traffic for 30, 40 minutes. And I really love listening to music in the car and dancing and just having a good time. And sometimes I listen to podcasts, super beneficial. But recently I've just been driving in silence.
Yes.
And it is so good. And I'm I'm just in this box with myself.
Yes.
And my thoughts. And I'm not obviously meditating because I need to be aware of where I'm driving and the cars around me, but it's a really great time to reflect and to think and to help foster the growth of your intuition and to become more in tune of your inner feelings.
Yeah.
It's so easy just to go through life and just check things off the list and not actually, like you're saying, feel. And that's so interesting because different cultures and different religious backgrounds have various unique perspectives on this. I have my sister is a beautiful, wonderful woman who's very strong Christian, and she's like, your heart's deceptive above all things. And I'm like, man, I get what you're saying. Like, what do you really like fall and believe in? You know what I mean? Are you just going to follow your heart? You're going to follow your gut? You're going to follow your intuition? It can be really confusing.
Yeah.
But I, it's not taking something just like at face value, like this is it, I'm going to go with that. Sometimes it is really powerful like that. And sometimes the situations require a little bit more sitting in saturation and letting it soak. Yeah. And then maybe you take the time to like wring it out and see what comes out and see what's left behind from it. So that's why it is tricky when we're talking about this, because sometimes it's not just like, ding, 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 here's your answer.
Yeah.
Even though like the other day I'm like, hello? Where's the answer in the sky?
Yeah, give me, I know. Isn't that funny? Like sometimes I'm like, anything, like let me look at a sign. What is that sign? It says stop. I gotta stop what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, but I think that hunger for the answer is actually helping foster the growth of your intuition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and it's so much a part of this human experience.
Yes.
We have to have that point in our lives of, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I think that that's really just a huge part of being human.
Yeah.
And then growth from that, as you said, like, we start to really connect with who we are, our mission, our values, what we want out of this precious one life.
Yes. All of it was so good. And then there's an interesting thing of like, sometimes it's not just a clear answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might have two options or more, and it's not like one is better than the other. Maybe they're all great. And it's literally just like
foggy.
And you can choose any of them.
Yes.
And they can all be wonderful outcomes, but they'll all be different outcomes. Yeah. And it's you having to be honest with yourself of what kind of imagining the outcome of it and which path like not settles with you more, because they could all work, but resonates, fulfills that the direction that you're kind of going in this life right now.
Yeah.
And that can change.
Yeah. And I think with that, to remember, instead of being so caught up in like that this is hard and it's frustrating, like remembering to have a sense of gratitude with that, because wow, how freaking cool is that to have two amazing options in front of you that are magnificent. Like, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Like life is so great, because your attitude is really what's going to help you just continue to have these wonderful options and this beautiful life and this colorful life.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely doing the work from within is going to help so much with our Ajna chakra. As within, as without. You know, the external, the external world.
And it all starts with a thought. So, it starts in the mind, and it's like it starts with a thought and then if you choose to believe the thought, can you see yourself following that direction? And like what we were talking about before, and then how does it feel in your body? And then, maybe you follow it and it doesn't work. That is okay. It's not the end of the world. You can always change. You can always switch gears and go back in another direction. It's not like, okay, you went down this path, dead end, life's done. Like, oh, great, it's the dead end. Awesome. Then that will help strengthen your intuition. That wasn't right for me. I need to turn around.
In fact, I read yesterday that failure, like people who tend, are going through some sort of failure, actually have a 30% better chance to succeed in, whatever they do next than, the person who never has dealt with that failure, that sense of, defeat.
Yeah. And it makes sense because of, you feel the defeat and you're like, your willpower, your drive is stronger.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to feel that again.
Yeah. I'm not going to settle.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt who said, it's the getting up that counts. Get yourself back up.
Yeah.
Because if we stay down, we just stay down.
Yeah. Right. And I think our intuition, it has the best in mind for us. And sometimes for whatever reason, we like to fight it. We're like, no, that can't be right.
I know better.
Yeah, right. And it's like, but then there are signs all around you, and you're just like,
right.
I'm good. This is like what I want to do. And so that's where it gets tricky, is like, you got to learn how to open yourself up to possibilities. And what you said, like, come back to your mission, come back to your values, your truths, and then see if those align with those options. And then sit with it in meditation. Another great way to kind of reawaken or come back to that ajna, that inner wisdom and knowing, is applying pressure to the third eye. I love practicing myself and teaching students, like in child's pose, like actively like rolling your forehead on the ground. Just to have that physical touch to the space of, hey, you, like, you're in there.
Yeah. And Ajna mudra, bring the thumbs up. And Ajna means offering. A mudra is gesture. So, where we place our hands sends a message to the brain. And, what's my offering today for my intuition? Where am I inside right now? Let me just check in.
Yeah.
I love that you keep talking about filtration, because it makes me think about Vishuddha, the throat chakra, with purification.
Yeah.
And it's almost like our Vishuddha, as we listen and we have all these things coming at us, that helps us with our intuition. We really have to have that filtration process to get deeper with ourselves and that own connection. Yeah, like, is this voice, is this coming from me, or is this coming from somewhere out there that really doesn't have anything to do with me?
Yeah. And am I trying to make it connect to me?
Right.
I think there's those moments, I'm sure you have had them, where someone does speak like directly into your heart and into your mind, and you're like pierced by it, like your aunt, grabbing you by the shoulders, and it just sticks with you. Hold on to those, because those can be great guiding lights. And which is, your light is ajna, into your path and your dharma. And to know that, like, if you are asking for people's perspectives and opinions, that even though they might have the best opinion or a best in mind for you, that they also aren't on the same path as you. Right? So it is good to ask different people's perspectives and opinions.
Definitely.
And then filter them. Of like, how does this settle? And how does this relate to my own truth, my own values?
Right. And at the end of the day, if you find yourself grappling and like really searching, and, let's say we go back to that place of like, well, shoot, maybe I did make the wrong decision. Something to keep in mind is that you are always exactly where you are supposed to be right now in your life. Like, just like have that trust, that first chakra, that reassurance that, there's like no wrong decision really. Like what you're going to do is perfect. There's no like, bad decisions. Like, it's all the way that your path is supposed to carve out for you.
It's human experience, and that's I would say, like, if you are going through challenging situations, whether now or later, or you have been, one of those words that have really spoke to me was, one of my teachers said, don't take yourself too seriously. And I'm like, all right, good. Don't take yourself too seriously. Like, it's life. And can you like have a lighthearted mindset about it? Like, when challenging situations arise, like, can you actually like laugh about it and like, oh my gosh, this is really fucking ridiculous that I'm going through it. It helps lighten the load and like release some of that heaviness. And like what you were just saying, like, you are where you're supposed to be. Another one that just really struck me was, you are the point the universe is trying to make. And like, I would contemplate that. What does that mean? But it's like, your life, your expression, your path, your duty, your dharma, your relationships, those are all what the universe is trying to express through you in this life. And so if you start seeing it and feeling it and believing that, I think that also helps strengthen your intuition and to become more in tune of like, oh, actually, this isn't a mistake. This is happening because of something. I'm not entirely sure what, but I'm going to trust the process.
Yeah, really. Trusting. So big. Wow. Intuition. So if we're talking about the wheel of the third eye,
great.
yeah.
Yes.
So let's say it's moving too slow. So a deficient third eye would be not being able to see and plan for the future very much. Like not even being able to be like any sort, like just being kind of, I'm not going to use the word stuck, but feeling like where you are right now is just like you're not even concerned about what's going to happen after that.
And almost like you have no drive.
No drive.
No imagination or
yes, cannot visualize yourself in any other circumstance. And no imagination. Also, they say no sense of what like a higher power would be, like whatever that means for you. Like that could even mean just, Mother Earth, the power of our own earth, or Father Sky, whatever, resonates with you, but no spirituality, like really like very, very cut off from anything other than what is tangible.
Yes. And I would say stagnant in your own walk. Like, this is good. Settling almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what happens? Oh, go ahead.
No.
A moment.
Yeah, there's a word I'm trying to think of, but I don't think it's going to come to me right now. So
it'll pop.
Maybe, like tonight in my sleep, I'll wake up from it. If it's moving too fast.
Yes.
So now we're looking at the other side of that, where we might see someone with hallucinations, someone who their imagination is and their visualization is so like boom, big, out of whack.
Out
that's
there.
That's like they're not in touch with reality.
Yes.
Like it's like, it might be the people who it's like God told me to, like sort of like kill my children or whatever.
Something too outlandish.
Jesus. Yeah.
And that's a fine line. I think most of us would resonate or kind of connect more like, I'm almost like I'm in life, or actually, I want to touch on like, and teacher training. We get a lot of people who come in who are going through these like crises of like, I hate my job. I'm ready for a career change. I just finished college. I finished my job and I'm an empty nester. I just got a divorce. I got transitions. And I'm like, what brought them to teacher training is their intuition.
Yes.
And that's the coolest part is like, they don't really know why. They're just like, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that draw. And I'm like, that's it. The feeling of the draw, the pull.
Yeah.
Listen to that. And so like I'll get on the phone with people who are interested in teacher training and they're just like, I don't really know if I even want to teach, but I'm just like kind of in this place in life and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, if you're just feeling it at all, like you almost go for it. You got to do it because it's going to change you.
Totally. I know. And a lot of people will be like, well, I'm not really good. I'm not to this level of my practice yet.
Yeah.
And I'm in that situation, I'm like, there's a reason why we're having this conversation. You don't have to be at a certain level at all. Like we've had people start
brand
teacher
new
training, without really having a practice. Like we've had this one person who did it after one class, after one yoga class, he signed up for teacher training.
Yeah, was ready to go. So those things like it really also helped me. We're both really grateful and privileged to be around those type of individuals because I really. Being around people who are like pulled by their heartstrings or pulled by that intuition helps me tap into mine more.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like you are the company you keep. Like really think about the people that you surround yourself with. Are they just kind of like low lifes who are just like settling in and just like life's good, easy peasy, and not really hungry for more?
Yeah.
You might want to reach out and consider exploring different.
Apathetic.
Yeah, a little. Oh, that's the word? Yes, there you go. You're like, I gotta get it out there. That's if the wheel's too slow.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Or your friends are feeling apathetic.
Right. Yeah, really. Went together.
But also be mindful if you're around friends that are just like, let's go hallucinate all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's important to be in touch with reality and like have responsible relationships.
Yeah, with everything, that balance.
Yeah, it's a balance. Keep the wheel turning. The biggest way is to meditate. Whether that's seated, whether that's going in a walk, whether that's through a breath method, or your yoga practice, whatever it is just getting into that flow state and just being in that consistent rhythm, like a metronome, like if you musician, you see a musician play, they're just like in it. That is turning that wheel.
Yeah. Meditation is so cool. It's like the essential oil lavender, it will either calm you down if your nervous system needs to be calmed down, or it will give you energy if you need to be energized. And meditation is the same way. If your wheel is spinning too fast, it's going to ground you and bring you back to earth. But if it's spinning too slow, like that meditation is going to take you on a visualization. You know, you're going to go somewhere else with it. Yeah, meditation is huge, and it's truly life-changing. It's you know, if you're going through anything, definitely meditate. If you're not going through anything, definitely meditate.
Yeah. I like ask you guys to like think about a time where you had your intuition and you listened to it and what was the outcome, and then think about a time when you had that intuition and then you chose not to listen to it and what was the outcome. When I was moving here, I just had this like innate feeling like, go to Austin. It was kind of like the voice of God. Maybe I'm crazy, but I ended up here. I don't know. Crazy's cool. And then I had some people in my life that I really looked up to at that point in time, and they were like, don't go, you know? And then I had people who were like, go for it. And so I was like, well, I don't know. And I just kept feeling that pull, and I did, and now I'm here with you guys.
Yes.
And I'm so glad I listened to it.
Yeah.
And my life would be totally different.
So grateful. I know. I feel that too. Moving to Austin, people used to ask, what brought you to Austin? And I'd say, the wind. Yeah. You know, like some people, like they're like, what are you talking about? Yeah. I'm like, I just went with the wind.
Yeah.
You know, just like felt that pull.
Yeah.
You just got to go where you're feeling pull.
Yeah. And you can't, don't try to fight it, because you'll create more resistance. And that's not fun.
Yeah. What is that saying? What you resist, what is that? What you resist continues?
I don't know.
It rhymes.
Oh, okay. That didn't rhyme. It will come.
Exists. It'll come. Again, like maybe in the middle of the night.
We're 2 minutes later.
Hopefully so.
So I think
persists.
Oh, there you go. So let's hear it.
What you resist persists.
Okay.
So if you're continuing to resist it, it's going to continue to ask you. Yes.
Yeah. Ooh.
Sorry about that little brain fart.
No, you don't apologize. That's the humanness of it. And I think it is about visualizing your future and being open to possibilities, so that if you have all these potential options for your life, and then you just start thinking about them, spending time in reflection, writing about them, meditating about them, your inner knowing will guide you to the space that you are needing to go to. And sometimes it's an unfamiliar territory, and that resistance might be, it's scary and it doesn't feel familiar, and where I'm at feels familiar and comfortable. And that's where it gets tricky of like, this is good. This is familiar. I feel settled. I feel grounded. I feel like I can see a future here. But then there's this another option where you're like, I don't know. Like I see it, but it seems so unknown. And the territory is unknown. Sometimes you just got to go with it and then explore it and see how it pans out. And for some people, that's the best way you learn, is through the experience. Other people, not so much. So you got to be honest with yourself of like, are you that type of person that's like, yeah, life sometimes feels like you're jumping off a diving board. And you're like, I don't know what's going to happen, where I'm going to be taken, you know?
I'm like all full of these sayings today. Jump and a net will appear.
Oh my gosh. You are so cute.
But that's the truth.
Yeah.
Just jump and a net will appear.
And you got to have that trust. So this mudra is called unshakable trust. It's like you interlace your hands and your thumbs are up towards your chest. And like, I've been teaching it a lot because I'm like, I need it too.
Yeah.
But I like tell my students, like, push your hands like into your chest and push your hands or your heart back into your hands. and you're creating this seal and the connection of like, you're feeling your heartbeat, you're feeling your lungs. And it's just like, sometimes you just don't fucking know. And that is okay.
Yeah.
But I really believe like, even if you don't have the answer right in front of you and you're grappling with it, just choose to trust, trust, do the work. Yeah. You can't just like sit here and like, I'm just going to trust and not do anything.
Right.
Life's going to happen.
It's a balance.
Yeah. So, it's like, you got to be active in it. You can't just be like, I'm going to be the most successful in my corporation and just sit there back and meditate about it. You got to act upon it. So the intuition is a guiding force, that guiding light, but it is also telling you like, you got to step and move your feet to go there, take action.
And I really like that we gave you guys 2 different mudras today, because the hands are where we do our work. We do so much, and this is where we love, this is where we nurture, it's where we do everything. So, to work with our hands and to really express them in our meditation can be, for me, I am a tangible person. Like I love stones and I love, working with oils and I love things like in general. So for me, mudras have been really helpful during my meditation. That reminder of like really feeling my hands at their work.
Yeah, especially because I love that, because it's the intuition is this place of like, it's not super tangible and it's sometimes inexplainable of what you're going through. And so having something to like connect to, a stone, your hands, your breath, something that you can make sense of more makes it a little bit more accessible. So, it's a journey. It takes time to grow it.
Yeah.
Be patient with yourself. Sometimes the answer will come quickly. And a lot of times it doesn't. And, you're like waiting and you're like me and you're like, where's the answer? But it will come. And if you have that, the guiding force is there. It is within you, and it is trying to lead you. So choose to trust it. Try not to fight against it or resist it, and soften into it. Sometimes we grip so hard. We're like, what's the answer? Just tell me. But it's just having that idea of those open palms of, here I am. Like, I am ready to receive it.
I'm showing up. I'm doing the work. And it'll come. It will. And if it doesn't, jump and a net will appear.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Namaste.
Namaste.